I welcome you to this lesson. I'm Teacher Katimbo Richard, teaching Mathematics P5. Today we are still looking at fractions, P5 term 2, and this time round we are looking at how to convert different decimals to fractions and vice versa. Then later we shall look at the addition as well as subtraction, then mixed operations on the same fractions which are decimals. When this video is viewed and understood properly, one will be able to answer all the work concerning the same right from page 6 to 10. So I urge you follow strictly and watch over and over. That is, if you download, it will work better, so that you watch severally to understand better. Now, as I said, we are looking at decimals in particular, converting those same decimals to other fractions as the first sub-topic, and the examples are here. The general instructions say, change the following decimals to fractions. Change the following decimals to fractions, where part A says, change 0.7 to a common fraction. So, when we're learning how to read these decimals, or write them in words, we said 0.7 is read as 7/10. Because of that, then 0.7 is written as 7 out of 10, because both are read the same way. When you ask to write 0.7 in words, you say 7/10. Likewise, if you are given 7 out of 10 to write it in words, you still say 7/10. So here 7/10 in decimal form is equal to 7/10 in fraction form. Hence, knowledge of reading or writing this 0.7 in words will enhance writing it as a common fraction. So 0.7 is equal to 7 out of 10. It should be noted that wherever one has got only one decimal place, meaning one digit after point, if you're asked to write it as a common fraction, it means you are going to include only one zero, not one, to make a 10 when 10 becomes the denominator. So that's why 0.7 is equal to 7 out of 10. 0.6 will be 6 out of 10. 0.2 will be 2 out of 10. 0.1 will be 1 out of 10. So this 0.7 is 7 out of 10. Because both are read the same way, like I say, this is 7/10, this is also 7/10. So 7/10 is equal to 7/10, but written in different styles. As we look at part B, change 0.02 to a common fraction or to a proper fraction. You will then see that after point we have got two digits, 0 and 2. Now that we have got two digits, we expect two zeros down, written against 1 to make 100. So this 0.02 means 2 out of 100. So that's why we write in the working here, 0.02 equals 2 out of 100. And as we learned in our before, we said all fractions must be reduced apart from square root, reciprocal, and probability. So now, 2 out of 100 must never be left as it is, because 2 and 100 are actually divisible by 2. So we divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is a 1. 10 divided by 2 is a 5. And then 0 divided by 2 is a 0. So that you get the answer as 1 out of 50. and which is actually purely reduced to its lowest terms. That is 1 out of 50, and that's the answer. But here, what you must note is that if I've got two decimal places or 2 digits after decimal point, we write 2 zeros down when you are forming a common fraction. That is 2 out of 100, that's 100, 2 zeros. As opposed to 0.7, which had only 1 digit after point. 1 digit means 1 zero down here. That is 7 out of 10. Then 0.02, I've got 2 decimal places or 2 digits after point. Then 2 zeros must come down. So the number of decimal places is the number of zeros you have to include onto 1. So that you put 2 zeros onto 1 to make 100 and successfully write 2 out of 100, and which is reduced by 2 to get 1 out of 50 and nothing else. As we go to part C, change 0.75 to a common fraction. Like 0.02, 0.75 has got 2 decimal places. So then we expect 2 zeros against 1 when you write it as an improper fraction. So you're going to get 75 out of 100. So you say 0.75 equals 75 out of 100. And now if you know some tables, you will find out that both 75 and 100 are further reducible or divisible by a particular number, which is actually 5. So 75 and 100 are then going to be reduced further by 5. So I'm going to divide by 5, that is. Where 7 divided by 5, you get 1, remainder 2. This 2 goes to 5 and forms a new figure called 25. Which 25, when divided by 5, you get 5. So that is already divided. I repeat, 7 divided by 5 is 1, remainder 2. 2 is written against or near 25 and near 5 to make 25. Now 25 divided by 5, you get a 5. Since we chose to divide by 5, we also break it down, that's at the denominator level, so that 10 alone divided by 5, you get a 2, and 0 divided by 5, you get a 0. So we write our 15 out of 20 as the outcome there. And again, look at 15 out of 20. It is still pending division. It shows it is still divisible by 5. So 15 divided by 5 is a 3, and then 20 divided by 5, you get a 4. So that the answer is 3 quarters. So 3 quarters is the answer of 3 out of 4. And that's the way we convert decimals to common or proper or vulgar fractions before we convert them back. Now, we've got converting fractions to decimals. Converting fractions to decimals. We've got these examples, 3 of them, where we are taught to express the following as decimals. 3 out of 10 or 3/10. So like here 3/10, like the word tenth suggests, it suggests only 1 decimal place. So 3/10 calls for that 3 being the 10th place value like we learned. So 3/10 or 3 out of 10 is equal to 0.3. Like I said before, these two are both read as 3/10. 3/10 is equal to 3/10. One written as a numerator and denominator, another one as a decimal. So that's 3 out of 10 equals 0.3. And that one has been converted successfully. Here, knowledge of reading these two works. So then we go to number 2, express 25 out of 100 as a decimal. You will then read this, that is 25 hundredths. 25 hundredths. Like the word hundredth suggests, it calls for 2 places of decimal or 2 digits after a decimal point, which 2 digits are the 2 and 5. So 25 hundredths is equal to 0.25. Both are read as 25 hundredths. 25 hundredths is equal to 25 hundredths. 25 out of 100 is equal to 0.25 because both are read as 25 hundredths. So things to do with zeros written against 1, you just read them and convert. 3/10 is equal to 3/10. 25 hundredths is equal to 25 hundredths and nothing else. As we go to example number 3. Example number 3 says, convert or express a quarter to a decimal fraction. So, unlike these two, which have got these zeros down against 1, this is having the denominator 4, we cannot then just convert like these ones are actually converted by mere knowledge of reading them. Here, a quarter as a decimal. Here you are going to use long division because a quarter or 1 out of 4 means 1 divided by 4. 1 out of 4 means 1 divided by 4. So this is the way you work out. Now we say 1 divided by 4. 1 divided by 4. Then we're going to use DMSP. Wherever we are using long division, we use DMSP. Divide, multiply, subtract, pull down. Divide, multiply, subtract, pull down. Now we are going to divide 1 by 4. So where 1 divided by 4, you get a 0. We have divided. Now we're going to multiply. 4 times 0, you get 0. Now I'm going to subtract. 1 minus 0, you get 1. Now I'm going to pull down. So we put a point here because there was nothing to pull down. Then we include this 0 to pull it down here. So I said put a point if you have nothing to pull down. You see you still have a remainder 1 here. So we put a 0 and then pull down this 0 that you have put. And then go 10. We go back to the same procedure. 10 divided by 4, you get 2. You have divided. Now multiply. 4 times 2, you get 8. Now subtract. 10 minus 8, you get 2. Now, since 2 is still here, then there's a necessity to pull down something, which something was not here. If there's nothing, Mathematics has put a provision of that nothing, which is called a 0. So add a 0 here and pull it down here. And then it goes to 2 and becomes a 20. So now that you have pulled down a 0, we go back to division. 20 divided by 4, you get 5. Now you have divided. You are going to multiply. 4 times 5, you get 20. Now we go to subtraction. You are going to subtract. 20 minus 20, you get 0. The moment there is no remainder here, then you must not do anything else. So the answer is 0.25. It's 0.25. 0.25. And that's the way we convert a quarter to a decimal fraction or any other number that lacks these zeros down with 1. Yeah. So we do that. We use DMSP, divide, multiply, subtract, pull down. Divide, multiply, subtract, pull down. The moment you have this order, you never fail long division. As we move on to this subtopic, addition of decimals. Now, addition of decimals. Start. example number 1 tells you to add 0.2 and 0.6. In addition of decimals, we first align the decimals or the decimal points in the vertical order. Point, 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 and then equals. Point, 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 equals. Then, in so doing, we shall be able to follow the place values. So, write our 0 point is already here, then 2. 0 and the point will be there already, 6. And now plus, and then add in that line. So we go 2 plus 6 is an 8. Then 0 plus 0 is a 0. So that the answer is 0.8 and nothing else. As we move on, example number 2. Add 0.8 and 0.3. This is just emphasizing what we've done. Only that number 1 did not have regrouping, the one we call carrying. So this one has that regrouping kind of statement or kind of working. So we still say point, point, point equals. I say point, point, point equals. In addition and subtraction, we start with points first. Point, point, point equals, and then write 0.8 plus 0.3. Start our normal addition, where 8 plus 3 you get 11. Write 1, regroup 1, or carry 1, and actually regroup 1 to the next place value, where 1 plus 0 plus 0 get 1, thereby getting an answer as 1.1 that day. As we look at the third example of addition of decimal fractions, that is add 9 plus 0.8. You must note that 9 is a whole number. Whole numbers are written this side of point, that is on the right hand side of the point. So 9 is not 0.9, but it's a 9. So 9 plus 0.8. We still first align our points in the same vertical order. Point, 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 and then this equal sign. Then we write the 9 inside, please. That's 9 plus 0.8. 9 plus 0.8. So remember our points over here. So for the 8 to have a correspondent number, we put the nothing, which nothing is called a 0, above it. So that we've got 9.0 now plus 0.8. Then ensure 9 is on the whole number section, not the decimal section. Should be written before a point, not after a point. Be careful. So 9.0 plus 8, 0.8. And now we add normally 0 plus 8 is 8, and 9 plus 0 is 9. Thereby getting 9.8, and that is the way. So for any piece of work that calls for addition of decimals, please do like that. And which when done, you will never fail again. As we look at subtraction of decimals, like addition of decimals, in subtraction of decimals, we order in the same way. So, like we see, the first example tells us to subtract 0.6 and 0.4. We still put point equals 0.6 minus 0.4. Subtract 6 and 4 and get 2. 0 minus 0 and get 0. Then the answer is 0.2. The way we did for addition is the way we do here for subtraction. You order them in their place values properly. After the points are aligned in the same vertical order, and then you will never fail the number. You have been told to subtract in example number 2, 4.737 minus 0.88. 4.37 minus 0.88. Now, we again order, we say point equals. Now, we've got 4.37 minus 0.88. So put the equals already, and then start our subtraction. In example number 1, it was direct subtraction, for we don't need to borrow. Here, we shall have an element of borrowing, like we learned in operations on whole numbers. That is subtraction of whole numbers, but now subtraction of decimals. So in case the upper number is less than the downer one, then we help it by that base, meaning we borrow the base and add that base to the number in order to gain some value for you to subtract normally. So that 7 minus 8 is already possible after borrowing. Never say impossible, otherwise we cannot get an answer for something impossible. The fact being that you proceed on to working, it means it is possible, but after borrowing. So we borrow the base. Any number without a base is base 10. So whatever we borrow here is going to be a 10. So we borrow from 3, and the 3, when we borrow 1 from 3, we remain with 2. And what we have borrowed carries the base 10. So where 10 plus 7, you get 17. Now subtract normally. 17 minus 8, you get 9. And now remember, we remain with 2. Now 2 minus 8 is again possible after borrowing. We borrow from 4, 1 from 4, and cross out the 4. Having borrowed 1, 4 reduces to 3. And now that 1 is equivalent to 10. 10 plus 2, you get 12. Now 12 minus 8, you get a 4. Remember our point is already here. Then we've got 3 minus 0 is a 3, thereby getting an answer 3.49 or 3 and 49 hundredths. You read it as 3 and 49 hundredths or 3.49 as the answer for this particular question. In short, they want you order them in their corresponding place values, and after which you subtract. In case the upper number is greater, is less, then do borrow the base 10 in this perspective and then answer. As we look at the third example about subtraction, so does it tell us to subtract 17.30 minus 5.2. So, as usual, we start with our points. Point equals. That's what starts on paper. Point equals. Point equals. After those points have been put or aligned in that order vertically, then you write our 17 point is already here, 30, minus 5.2. Now that this 0 lacks the corresponding number, we write a nothing or a 0 again under it so that it has its corresponding digit. So then we subtract 0 minus 0 is a 0, 3 minus 2 is a 1, 7 minus 5 is a 2, and the 1 down to get 12.10 as the answer to that very question. As we look at another subheading or subtopic, that is mixed operations involving addition and subtraction, meaning we are going to have more than one operation. Majorly, we are looking at addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction. You have a number brought when it has got an addition and subtraction. Like you see, the first example work out 0.8, there is a plus 0.2, then a minus 0.3. Here, one would wonder what to start with. Should I first subtract here? No, I don't know. Should I add here? I don't know. What should I do? So that answer is provided by the word Bodimus. Bodimus. Whenever you see many operations or more than one operations in a particular number, you must write the word Bodimus and start identifying. Remember, Bodimus means brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Then you ask yourself, do I have brackets in here? No. Do I have the word of? No. Do I have division? No. Do I have multiplication? No. Do I have addition? Yes. That's why you tick this one. Meaning, Now it has been decided that you are going to start by adding. That's why you rewrite this and put this in brackets and say, I'm starting with U, addition. Then I will subtract later. So I add 0.8 and 0.2 first. We go point equals point equals 0.8 plus 0.2, and then start adding. That is 8 plus 2 is 10, write 0, regroup 1, then 1 plus 0 get 1. So the addition has given rise to 1.0, but remember there is a subtraction of 0.3 later. So the outcome after adding is 1.0, then take away the 0.3. Now go point equals 1.0 minus 0.3, and then start your subtraction. 0 minus 3 is only possible after borrowing. We borrow 1 from 1, and 1 remains with nothing. So remains a 0, and 1 is equal to 10. 10 plus 0 get a 10. Now I've got a 10. A 10 minus 3 get a 7. 0 minus 0 get a 0. So the answer is 0.7 and nothing else. That is all. As we go to number 2, work out 18.8 minus 4.67 plus 5.33. Again, of course, subtraction and addition, 2 operations. So we can never know what to start with unless we use the word body mass. So use the word body mass to decide on what is supposed to be done. So, do I have brackets? No. Do I have of here? No. Do I have division? No. Do I have multiplication? No. Do I have addition? Yes. So I'm going to start by addition. Unlike example number 1, which order was already correct or was already in the order of body mass or dictatorship, we are then going to first see which one bears the plus sign of addition. It is the 5.33. It has the plus here. So therefore, there is a necessity to change the order. In use of body mass, this is the situation where you must change the order. The rest we shall never change, like we shall see as time goes on. So I've got to change this order, to start with addition, then a minus comes last, like it was in number 1. This one is already in order. We just dealt with it as it is, for the addition was coming first. But here, addition is coming last, and the subtraction was coming first. But body mass tells us to add first. So follow body mass. Therefore, we rewrite this very number and say 18.8 plus 5.33, then later minus 4.6. It is the statement here which must be adhered to. We first add this last one to the first one, then the minus, the one with the minus sign of subtraction comes last, and then say minus 4.67 and write it here. And now we are told to add first, so we add these two first. That is point equals 18.8 plus 5.33. Now, since this is 3, does not have a corresponding digit, we write a 0 here against that 8, and then we start our addition. 0 plus 3 is a 3, 8 plus 3 is 11, write 1, group 1. 1 plus 8 is a 9, and a 9 plus 5, you will get 14. Write 4, group 1, then 1 plus 1, you get a 2. And the answer for addition, remember the subtraction, is 24.13. And now it is this one, 24.13, that we're going to take off or take away that 4.67. So we say 24.33 minus 4.67. So body mass will have been followed. But remember, in case the subtraction is set leading addition, we interchange so that the subtraction comes last because of body mass. Now we are going to subtract. We say point equals, and then write 24.13 minus 4.67 and start our subtractions. 3 minus 7 is only possible after borrowing 1 from 1. We borrow 1 times to 0, and now the 1 is equal to 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. Remember here we borrowed 1 from 1 and then with 0. Now 0 minus 6 is again possible after borrowing. We borrow 1 from 4. The 4 times to 3, and then the other 1 was borrowed is equal to 10. 10 plus 0 get 10. Then 10 minus 6, you get a 4. So then we cross the other side. I've got a 3. Remember, the 4 times to 3 after borrowing 1. Now 3 minus 4 again, this is just borrowing. We borrow 1 from 2 and times to 1. And which one was borrowed is equal to 10. 10 plus 3 get a 13. 13 minus 4 get a 9. And here remained with 1 after borrowing. Thereby writing it down here to get an answer as 19.46. So that's the way we add and subtract the same number. So when you've got a number that's got addition and subtraction follow body mass, remember addition comes first in body mass, and then you will be able to order and add, then later subtract accordingly. I am teacher Katimbo that has taught you this and still teaching you, that is, if God Almighty still wishes my living on the planet Earth, I will still teach you up to the end of this book, that is term 2, like I did to that of term 1. And I urge you, come to school and buy or get yourself a copy of this term 2 so that you view or watch as you put into action, because actions speak louder than words, as you know. So for more information about this work or the work I discussed before, or about mathematics in general, call Teacher Katimbo on 0776 251655. I said 0776 251655. Otherwise, that is the end of the lesson. Please take care of yourselves.